So second. Hello, everyone. We are live, and I wanted to do this sweet conversation with my dear friend Deedra because many of you ask me questions about my story, my journey, how Choose Life Eating came about, why did I create it, all of this. But I haven't honestly created and shared with you. It's just been bits and pieces. And so kind of putting a better picture to the puzzle here in this conversation. So it's an honor to have Deedra lead you through the questions that you would most like to know, and I'm happy to answer them. So Deedra, thank you for this.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So tell me, so what is the questions that people would like to know? How can I serve them?
Well, first of all, I think I've known you for, gosh, maybe 10 years now. And I've always known you as just this super fit mom that, kind of did it all. I feel like you had it all going on. You know how you had your babies and you were working out all the time and you were fit. And I can't ever imagine you not being fit. So when I learned your story and your struggles with food and really addiction and food addiction and things like that, it surprised me because I have known you for years to be out of that. And you did not seem like I could ever even imagine you with 10 extra pounds, let alone 40 or 50 pounds. So I think just share your story of when you were in that deep struggle of kind of what you were going through so everyone will understand, that they might relate to that.
Well, I would say my focus on food and my pleasure and enjoyment and poverty mindset of it. And I really feel like my overeating was truly out of a poverty mindset, meaning, and I really unpack that on a soul level when people go through Choose Life Eating because I can identify with it. But as a mentality of like, I must eat this all now, or, oh, Aunt May's pie that I only see on Thanksgiving. And like, it's this, I must have it now. Like no vision of like, I can have it next month. Just ask her to make me a special, a special pie. Or it was just this, if I don't have it now, I don't know if it'll be in the fridge for me later. Yeah. And so it was just this in the moment mentality, instead of having a vision of, you know what, actually, I don't want those extra weight on my body.
Right.
I don't really having vision for even on that level.
And it tastes good.
Yes, and it tastes good. And I really was probably eating for the focus of, yeah, it smells good, tastes good, texture, all of this, all of these senses, instead of like, oh, my belly, really, if I keep eating, it will hurt. Yeah. I don't like the way I'll feel there.
Right.
And so I just, again, a lack of vision for even how my body would feel just in the moment, much less a week later, a month later with pounds. And so I kind of grew up with this poverty mindset and not a healthy relationship that food is fuel and the best fuel and poor fuel for my body. But then it wasn't until college that, I don't know, I think I was just so busy in high school and things are regulated. You have breakfast and then you're going to school and then they have a lunchtime for you. And then you get out of school. Well, at college, you actually can eat all day.
Yeah.
And I think I did. Yeah. And so I just had this rhythm of eating all the time and my body showed it. It began to show it. And then I played soccer for my university competitively. So I played for them. And then I got a hip fracture in one of the soccer seasons. And it was then that immediately I was so active and eating so much, but then my activity went to zero.
Right.
And I gained all this weight like in 30 days.
Right.
Because I hadn't gotten a hold of my food struggle. And I knew there was something there. I knew I struggled with it, but my activity with playing competitive soccer, it didn't look really loud on me. So it was kind of that time then everybody's aware, like, okay, she has our attention.
Right.
And I honestly, I began trying all the diets. I was real embarrassed, couldn't fit in my clothes. I didn't want to buy a wardrobe for that size. It was all of those things happening. And then, I'm still trying to process healing of a hip fracture. So that kind of took a primary focus. And in that place of lull of no soccer and hip fracture, and it's hard to even move, I only kept eating.
Yes.
So it just became worse and worse and worse, this bigger monster.
Well, that's understandable. My daughter played soccer all through and, she would record about 7 to 10 miles she would run per game.
Yeah.
That's how much you're running. And same thing with her, soccer's over. She just graduated high school. And I'm like, you can't eat like you were eating. Like your body cannot, you're not going to be running unless you're going to be running, 10 miles like that. You're consuming so many calories, versus how much you're expending, just because when you're an athlete like that, it's way more than the average person that just goes for a 30-minute little run.
Yes.
So I can totally see that. And maybe like some of the poverty mindset was, I don't know if it was money related. Like if I don't eat this, I might not get any more.
Totally. And it was like this sugared
Yeah.
drink cost me $7. I'm going to get all of my $7 worth.
Yeah.
This meal was $13. And I don't know, like it was this poverty mindset of financially too. I didn't want to waste that money. So I will treat my body like a trash can and garbage disposal.
Yeah, so true. So how did you feel? Because I know like as a female and males too, but I think especially females, body image is such an important thing, and I know even after I had my kids, going to the beach, I remember booking our first beach trip and we thought this is going to be so great. The kids are like, 1 and 3. And first of all, it was kind of, I would wait till they're a little older. It's a little much, but I just remember not wanting to take my cover off. Right. I had always been a fit person. I had always worked out, watched what I ate, but I had kids. I had 2 kids back to back, within 2 years, and your body changes. It looks different. And just remember not feeling comfortable in my own skin. And I hated that here I am at the beach with my kids, not enjoying because I'm worried about what I look like.
Right.
I can't enjoy the moment and I think so many women really, have that struggle as well, where you don't want to go places. You definitely don't want to put a bathing suit on, because you have this fear, this really self-hatred for your body.
Totally.
And so,
I did. And for me, it just became this spiritual thing of, I did it actually because I had that mindset, and that those were my thoughts about myself of, I hated the way I look. I didn't like looking in the mirror without clothes on, but yet all my layers that I was wearing was only making me look bigger at the same time. Like it was this hiding place. I wasn't able to just be present and be myself. I was in this place of covering up, literally, but even emotionally and mentally. And I didn't realize it, but there was such this alignment with the enemy. Like I realized there was this spiritual dynamic playing out, and I didn't know that I'm speaking to myself, to my soul, the same way that he would want me to speak. Like, you were ugly, you were horrible, you did it again, you blew it again, you tried to have self-control, but you didn't. And you tried to not go to the fridge late nights, but you did. Like constant barrage emotionally, mentally. And I didn't even know I was in a battle with that, because I actually felt that way. I was like, I was right there agreeing with those unkind words spoken to me. And they actually were not motivating me for change. It was truly just critical and just mean-spirited. And it really took a mindset of the championing and the encouraging of, no, you can do this. That's not who you are. This is a day to overcome. And I wasn't in that place. I was in this other place of really speaking like the enemy speaks to us, not how the Lord would speak to us.
It's such a negative vortex. And I think you can find yourself, the more you get in that and that negativity and self-hatred, it's really tough to pull out of it. So how did you pull out of it? How did the word of God help you?
I honestly was, I have this story, and it was, this is like the true throes of patheticness of one of them, right? So I had different moments, but I was in my dorms, and as full as my belly was, I could not feel like I stopped eating. I just wanted more. There is just this, it's never enough. And I know people can have that with money and with prestige and whatever. It's never enough. Just chasing a carrot and it just not fulfilling. And for me, it was as pathetic as food, just that wanting to feel satisfied and satiated. And I never had that satiated feeling. So all the things were closed. The cafeterias closed and all the canteens. And so I didn't live far. I had enough gas in my car to drive home. I thought, there's a whole pantry and refrigerator there. So I drove home truly, really, of course, to see my family for the
Yeah.
weekend, but really to eat, really,
Yeah.
really to eat more in that moment.
Right.
And we guys could have gone a drive-through or whatever, but it was kind of, maybe see them for the weekend too. And I went and yeah, I did. I would
Yeah.
continue to eat whatever was there.
Yeah.
And I remember my belly was so in so much pain and I was just crying. I was
Yeah.
crying. And in those tears, I was like, God, I don't even know how to stop this. Like,
Right.
I am in this vicious cycle, and it doesn't play out exactly like this every day, but
Yeah.
I don't even know how to get help.
Right.
And I don't know, my parents were in a place of like, maybe we should see a counselor, or maybe we should, it was,
Right.
and here's the thing is my degree was in health and human performance. Like, I knew this, and that was even
Yeah.
more of the pain and how hard I was on myself. Like, you know what a carb is, you know what a protein is,
Yeah.
you know what a fat gram is. Like, what's your problem? Because it wasn't as logical,
Right.
and as that there was this thing inside me that really needed to be dealt with. And I
Right.
was dealing with that pain with food
Yeah.
instead of dealing in a healthy way. So really for me, I just was like, God, I know you're a savior for eternity, but like, I'm looking for you as solution,
Right.
as savior in this moment. And I was like, maybe food and eating is like too meaningless for you. Like, I understand you have bigger things going on. I understand.
It's not a drug addiction. It's not
Yes,
alcohol.
exactly.
It's not hurting anyone else.
Yes.
Really, per
At
se.
the same time, I wished it was almost. I was just
Yeah.
like, I wish it was alcohol, and I was just like, I'll just never touch it again. I
Right.
wish it was cigarettes, and I just won't buy it again.
Right.
But
You have to
food,
eat.
I
Yeah.
have to eat, and every time I felt like I was just like driving on this way to overeating. I
Yeah.
didn't know how to eat and just have self-control.
Right.
And that seemed really lofty and difficult for me. Instead, I was on this vicious cycle of, I don't know, I guess I've talked to an alcoholic before, and he's like,
Yeah.
once you start drinking, I'm just going to be drunk. Like, if I have a can
Yeah.
of beer, I'm going to end the night drunk. And that's kind of how I felt with food. Like, if I
Yeah.
start eating,
Right.
I'm going to blow it. And just because of the lust for
Yeah.
more, how it tastes or whatever that is,
Right.
and trying to kind of scratch the itch inside me emotionally,
Yeah.
and there's just a number of things, but even I feel I was processing things, and it kind of made me sick to my stomach. And instead of
Right.
feeling emotionally, mentally sick to my stomach, I just physically would prefer
Right.
it, almost physically.
Yeah.
And so there was just a lot of layers to it, but I was like, God, I can't even sort it out. Like, it's too
Right.
complicated for me. I'm coming to you for this. And I had this demand, but a beautiful faith of like, and I think I was being facetious saying, this is too meaningless for you. Like, you do care about the sparrows. You do dress the lilies more gorgeous than you do Solomon. Like, you do care.
Mhm.
And so I'm coming to you because you're a beautiful, amazing, caring God. So thank you for caring for me.
Mhm.
And I just had this faith that you're going to meet me here.
Right.
And I was really actually embarrassed to share with any of my friends and family that I had this demand on the Lord in this season. It wasn't until honestly I started to see success, until I started to see like him and his faithfulness, his goodness, and his using scripture, using passages like has nothing to do with food and eating. But I had this like revelation. I had this behind the scenes, the way that it was connecting to me, like it was breaking
Right.
the cycle of addiction
Yeah.
and the greed and the lust for more in this area. And I was like,
Amazing.
wow, I know, it was amazing. I was just like,
Yeah.
okay, I will receive that, and I'll receive the grace and breakthrough that's on that. And so that's what it was. And for years, I was able to lose weight. It took a while, right?
Yeah.
Like, this wasn't like, it's not
Yeah.
like cheap eating today or like a 40-day journny. Like, it was
Right.
like bumping like a pinball machine, figuring it
Yeah.
out in conversation, in community, in unity with him. But over the years, people would pull me aside and say, hey, I remember you in college, and you were really overweight, and then you lost weight, and you lost weight again and again and again after your children. So, like, what's your deal?
Right. How did you do that? Yeah. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
How'd you do that? And I actually felt like that was just my story. Cause like I said,
Yeah.
like, oh, this passage has nothing to do with food and eating, but I felt the breakthrough on it. And
Yeah.
so I was like, well, it was this verse and this verse. I mean, like on a napkin on over our little lunch we're having. And that happened a number of times. And finally, I just thought, I really wonder if I really sat down and pulled all of the different ways that the Lord brought breakthrough
Yeah.
and life and freedom and healing and wholeness in this area, would it really work for somebody else? I mean, I didn't know. I was
Yeah.
fine with it just being my story. That was a place of conversation and intimacy with him for me. And I'm not going to push that on someone else.
Right.
But as people were asking, I was just curious. And so I just compiled it and prayed over it of like, okay, I would say this, they would, this, and then this came and this was
Right.
and it just kind of, in conversation again with him,
Right.
that built this program. It's 40 days. And I let people do it, not
Yeah.
knowing what was going to happen, but it started to bring breakthrough and weight off the body, the weight
Right.
loss, weight
Right.
off the soul, the true, lasting, successful breakthrough, and living spirit led in this space.
That is so amazing. I mean, the thing I love the most about this is you think of that, that probably is one of your deepest, darkest times of your life, right?
100%.
You were living in hell. You were, the enemy had gotten a hold of you, and it was a really bad time. But look how God uses your story now. And now you're bringing this, shedding this light to all these people and giving them a solution with an amazing 40-day program where now you can say, you don't have to let it beat you. And I think there's people with different struggles with food. Yours might have been an extreme where there's, lots of moms out there, a lot of the friends that I talk to, you've had your kids, it's that 10, 15 pounds, maybe it's 30 pounds now, as the years go on, you just can't shed. Right. You're just dealing with that. And it's summertime. And I know everybody wants, you want to feel your best. I think even more in the summer because you're out and about and, doing things outside and not wearing all the layers and all that stuff, And so I love that your deepest, darkest time now, God has pulled you through to teach others, how to be their best self and how to, live a healthy life. It's amazing.
100%. And I will say in the same way that it was one of this area because I couldn't get breakthrough and freedom on my own. I just couldn't. And this season of really him causing me to overcome and live as an overcomer and really finally knowing peace and rest and being able to enjoy a meal without having
Right.
it have me, like I'm
Right.
not being enslaved to like clean my plate and I must have more, and
Yes.
I could just enjoy it and it could just be simple. Food began to have its proper place, and I no longer was dealing with this mental vicious cycle of the words that were of
Right.
death that were playing over and over and inside of me, that I'm thrilled of that, and it's had caused me to just fall in love with him more. And I will say most of my friends and family are like, what I know about Kristen is she's so strong in the Lord, or she
Yes.
is so in love with him, or
Right.
and honestly, it was because this the way that he kind of like came through, right?
Right.
The way
Carried
that
you.
he
Yeah.
I tried all the diets. I did. And the diets just was like an incubator. The more I focused on food, the bigger and bigger and
Yes.
bigger food became the focus, and the bigger and bigger my body became. Like
Yeah.
it just, I mirrored that. But then when focusing on him and his word and coming for the freedom that he offers, the life and breakthrough that he came, like that's what I got out of it.
Right.
And so it really caused me to have decades of affection for him. So
It's such a beautiful story. I love that. So I think, people are probably thinking, what is the commitment? It's 40 days. How much of my time, how much, I mean, I think anyone who has that mindset of they hate their body, they hate the way they look, they will do anything to get out of that. But what people have busy lives, right? Busy lives, lots of kids, summer. So what is the commitment?
So it's wild. Like in the morning, I come to them. We really get to know each other. I come to them in video. They can, just they click on the video. It comes through text, and it's 3 minutes. They can watch it while brushing their teeth. And some people watch it several times. And I give them the verse, and I show them how to apply it in their life and their day and the food and eating space. And verse upon verse, things 100% begin to dislodge for them. And then I give them this lifestyle guide, this game plan I mail to them, and they carry it around their purse. It
Yeah.
takes about 5 minutes. At the end of the day, it's bop, 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 yes, no, da, da, da. And they can see some traction, and they can see, because what I don't give them, I don't give them a grocery list and this, you must have this for breakfast and you must have this for lunch. You must have this for dinner. I let them choose, and that's the big part of the freedom. But they also, in that choice, they're like, oh, okay, so I can go on a vacation with my family, and I
Yeah.
can eat at the places
You
that my
do it.
husband loves, wants to go out to eat for a date, because Kristen's not telling me I can only have this for weight loss. Like, instead, we are saying you can do this for the next 50 years of your life,
Yeah.
because it's not the exact same things. Like, you can live life no matter where you're at and what you're doing. And these are the scriptures and the guidelines in order to live as an overcomer. So 5 minutes in the end of the day, 3 minutes in the middle, and then I have Zoom conversations because I really want to link arms with people and
Right.
truly let them have success. I want them, their desire for success is my desire. Like, I want them to hit it and them to feel like, I'm a new person. I will never
Right.
live that way again.
Okay, that's incredible. Well, that time commitment doesn't sound like much at all.
No.
Everyone could fit it into their day.
Yes.
Everyone wants the results. Well, I know you've had phenomenal stories of people that have overcome and beat that addiction and a closer walk with the Lord. And oh, by the way, I love my body.
Yes.
I'm looking great. I'm feeling great. So give me an example of someone that you've worked with that kind of has really changed and how that's affected their life.
I think right now at the moment, I'm thinking of this girl, and honestly, she did not come. I mean, she did have weight to lose, but that's not actually why she connected with me. She actually connected with me. She was from high school, and we have lost touch of each other. I actually don't even remember. I didn't go to my 10-year reunion. I can't remember if I even at 20-year. We didn't talk fully. I can't remember if she was even there. And she's like, I've seen you on social media, and you're completely different. I remember you in high school. You were so quiet. You were in this little bubble. You never said anything. And now, like, there's such a, like, this bright light on you. There's just this light that's on you. And she's like, you were such a different person. I want to know I want to know who you are now. What are you doing?
Wow.
And so I said, well, what I'm mostly spending my time with is Choose Life Eating. And she was like, well, I don't know if I can do that kind of program because right now I can't get out of bed. I have 4 kids and I struggle with even getting out of the bed. I'm in the lowest place of my life.
Oh,
And if I lost weight, fine. That's great. That's not even my goal. Like, my goal is even loving my life, enjoying my day, like connecting with others, connecting with my day. And I just said, you know what? I actually think, like, we're going to help you lose weight. That's what Choose Life Eating does. But because it's an integration, it's a spirit, soul, body connection. I know that you're going to love your life, and you will not struggle with getting out of bed in the mornings. Like, it can do that for you. And I said, that hasn't been my focus. Don't really say that to people.
Yeah.
And so she's like, okay, I've tried. I can't imagine what else I need to try and what else I need to do. But I trust you because I remember how you were in high school and I can see you now. So she came on board, and it was like, boom, immediately things began to shift, and it was like a domino effect. And now she actually had this commitment, but let it drop as far as teaching her daughter, her cheerleading squad, like all these responsibilities and all these open doors she couldn't even show up for.
Oh, goodness.
And now she's able to get engaged again, and her influence with her moms and other girls, like, it was truly the glory of God. And
changed her life.
And it was still Choose Life Eating.
Yeah.
It absolutely will have a domino effect to all other areas of a person's life. So I love that success story, and I wouldn't even know that could happen, but it did.
Well, you wonder how many people are missing out on all these beautiful things in life because of that, right? I mean, you went through that time in life. I doubt you don't look back on college and enjoyed it because that was a really hard time, which that should be the time of your life.
Right. I should have been trying new things, and instead there is a lot of shame and more hiding and staying in.
Yep. I understand that. That's an amazing story. I mean, to be able to, because obviously the weight loss was huge, but mindset, if you can kind of shift your thinking, on it, that's one of the most important things. So I love that. Well, what if people want to get involved? What do you have going on right now, and how can they participate?
So Choose Life Eating, we have just a window of time that people can be a part of it. Just every 6 weeks, I open it back up, and there's a waiting list. I don't take a lot of people. I like it to be small and intimate. And so I have a few spots left for the June one, which
Okay.
will be next Monday. So
Okay.
starting June 14th, so people can mentally, emotionally get there.
Yeah.
But the last day to sign them up is Wednesday. So
Okay.
if the person has any interest, feeling like, gosh, I'm ready for this, they can direct message me and DM me on, whether Instagram or Facebook, either
Yeah.
way. And if I can get them in June, I'd love to. I'd love to immediately begin shifting and changing in their
Yeah.
life and story. If not, I'm happy to put them on the waiting list for the next one.
Right.
So even if they saw this and they missed the window as far as signing up, June 9th, I guess this Wednesday, then yes, happy to put them on the waiting list and get first opportunity for the next one. So that would be the best thing to do, saying, you know what, I am going to choose life. I am going to find freedom. I am going to take territory. I'm no longer going to be stuck. And definitely 3 months from now, I'm going to be a different person. And 40 days from now, I'm going to be a different person. And I'll have something that can carry me for the next 40 years.
And that's what I love. It's a lifestyle. It's not a fad diet. There's this, there's that. It's and also it's summertime and you can go on vacation.
Yes.
You can go on vacation.
Yeah.
Foods, there's a lot that you can do with the freedom, and that sort of it is really great. So, well,
yeah, somebody said that. They said, oh, well, I'm traveling. I just can't. I can't do it while I'm traveling. Actually, you can.
Yeah.
Actually, you can, because there's no set formulas and packages and things you've got to pack with you.
Or anything.
You can actually eat wherever you're going. It will work, I promise you. And they're pleasantly surprised. There was a girl, and here's another success story. There was a girl that she lost 2 pounds as she was traveling for 7 days. She's like, I've never done that.
No.
I was so in fear that I'm going to gain weight after having lost 10 pounds. She's like, I'm going to gain all 10 back. And she was right in the middle of it at that time, I think her 3rd week. She said, I was afraid I was gonna gain all 10 back because I was going on vacation for a week, and instead she continued to lose.
Oh, that's so great.
And there was no depriving, and there was no special restaurants, and she was eating with whomever, whatever. So because she was learning the power of the how.
That's amazing. Well, I love how you're living out your calling God has on your life. I mean, you just glow. You really do. When you start talking about it, you can just see, the beautiful glow, and you're doing what you should be doing, and what God wants you to do in life, and touching so many women's lives, which is just amazing. So
thank you. Well, I love you. Thank you for kind of being the voice for so many, asking me the questions that many ask me, but I haven't ever really made it available for a larger audience. So thank you so much, Deedra. I appreciate it.
Well, it was tons of fun. I'm excited to, get your program going, and hopefully lots of other women too.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Okay, can you hear me?